Is 5 albums you, who's watching this, need to listen to. And so album number 1 has to be the Fishman's live album from, I think, like 1996. Most people make videos on music talk about that album, but it's sensational. Like the extended long season track on that album, In the Flight as well, that's an underrated one. But like, especially the long season, my hair looks awful and my camera's really bad, but the extended long season performance, time out, bro. Like, you've never heard something like that before. Even if you heard the original, which is like, it's still up there in songs, right? You need to listen to the version, because it's just you can't compare it. You can't compare it at all. It is one of the best pieces of art. It's not even just music. Just one of the best pieces of art ever made, right? You cannot beat it. You cannot beat that song in terms of the emotional ride it takes you on, right? Bear with me, mate. It's my first fucking video. What are you gonna do? But yeah, Silent Alarm by Block Party. You've probably heard it, or at least heard one of the songs if you're especially if you're older than me, because it was like the millennials kind of grew up with it, and they're like my age, I mean, probably younger than how I am now, because like teenagers, kind of like 16 to 18, when you have that kind of like, like the most nostalgic, that's when you get your nostalgia music from. Like, my nostalgia music will be The Garden, it will be, My Bloody Valentine, Discharge, Napalm Death. That's the kind of stuff I'm gonna remember when I'm old. I'm 19 now. It's kind of a year late, I guess. I feel old, but I'm probably not. Like, my music taste is kind of just like refining what I like. I started liking when I was 16. Because what I liked before that was like I was big into dubstep. I was big into, like indie pop music. I was into my Clairo. I was into like my fucking Phoebe Bridgers, Skrillex, Zomboy. And then before that, I was just listening to like Marshmallow, Slushy, and also some like actual really good music. Like, no offense to Slushy and Marshmallow, but like that is kind of like music that 10-year-olds listen to. That's what I was 10 years old listening to that. Like, there's not many people who Fights on 5%. There's not many people who listen to that who are older than like fucking 16. And it's not like it's bad music, it's just like it's kind of got that vibe, that childhood vibe to it. It's like as good as like Juice WRLD was in X, when in like Trippie Redd and fucking, I think his name's Little Skies. Nowadays I took over a girlfriend. That one. That felt like a thing for like 13-year-olds, because that's how old I was listening to. I was when listening to them, like, when I was listening to that, that might just because I was that age, but like a lot of people now, like my nephew, he probably listens to that more than Radiohead. Radiohead was a 16, I'm 16 sad kind of thing. But I've gone off topic. What I was saying is, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, so millennials probably grew up with that as their like 16-year-old nostalgia album, along with like Turn on the Bright Lights by Interpol, you know, any of like the Strokes, you know, all that kind of, the Wombats. You know, that's kind of their stuff. Foals, Claxons, yeah, all that kind of, you know, that like that almost like the indie rock and the garage rock revival with the indie sleaze like LCD Sound System, who ripped off a lot of, you know, they had one of their biggest songs, Get Innocuous. I don't think it's one of their biggest songs, but it's like in the middle. I kind of lied. Ripped off Kraftwerk, We As the Robots, that one. Kind of, but you know, everyone's ripping off everyone, so it's kind of fine. It's fine to do that, as long as you're not like stealing it word for word or like doing a Vanilla Ice. Take inspiration from whatever you want, you know. Like half the time when I'm playing the drums, which is what I do, I'm just stealing from fucking everyone. Like, my biggest inspiration is Zach Hill from Heather and the Ladies, and also Death Grips, you know, and Team Sleep, and then Fletcher Shears from The Garden, and I also quite like jazz, so I steal all of those in one go, and it just kind of makes grindcore. That's kind of what it does, because jazz drumming is just metal drumming but quiet, with dynamic. It's not like metal drum doesn't have dynamic, but like dynamics. It makes jazz, where like a lot of what makes metal is speed and consistency in the hits. Because one thing I struggle with is double pedal. Because I can hit it that quick, but one of them's always quieter than the other, so it hasn't got that consistency. Where like with a single pedal, I can do the same thing as a double pedal, and it's more consistent because I have more control of my right leg than my left one. You know, when I played football, I couldn't fucking kick it with the fucking left leg. But if you really want to like delve into a different time, a different era, and feel that like, you know, the great fucking drumming on that album, you know, it's almost like a drum machine, how efficient it is, you know, and the guitars and just the charm of it. You know, if you listen to Silent Alarm by Block Party, that is a brilliant album. I've talked about nothing for probably like 8 minutes. Probably the whole video I've talked about fucking nothing. Anyway, album number 3 is a classic crossover thrash album by someone you probably all know but didn't know. Let me show my fucking charge. Still on 5. You probably didn't know did thrash, or unless you like dig into that early shit. Peter Steele and his pre-typo negative project called Carnival, which is thrash metal, crossover thrash metal. Say what you want, it's just better. It's better than most thrash metal, right? So I'm not a big fan of Metallica other than like their first 3, and also Saint Anger because it's got a fucking slam snare in it, which kind of fucking rocks, real cool, even though it doesn't fit the fucking, you know, that Saint Anger. It doesn't fit that at all. It's just cool. The drumming sounds really good. Like if you listen to slam or like mince grind, you know, like the grindcore where it's like mincecore, because a lot of grindcore, you know, grindcore's got like 2 main sounds. There's the ping and there's the abrasive. So the ping's like fluids, which is one of the big ones. So, and then like, you know, bodily stew, anal fluid. I remember anal fluid. Do you remember anal fluid? Shout out anal fluid. Please bring your music back. I miss it. But like, basically, there's the ping in the snare, which I have that for slam and hardcore. And the most of the blasts are usually gravity blasts. So it's like, you know, like you go like that kind of. It's not like I prefer the traditional blast where it's just like I'm probably not doing a good job of showing it, but that's my kind of, like, I like that sound. Like, that's why I'm better at playing like Scum by Napalm Death, you know, like Insect Warfare, Worm Rot. I'm better at playing that in that Extreme Noise Terror. I'm better at playing that than the pingy stuff, because I feel like the pingy stuff is less reliant on speed and more reliant on, you know, your wrist control on this hand, which I'm not. I need to practice more to do that, right? I'm not there yet. I'm more on the, I can play really fast and I can do cool fills, but I still can't do gravity blasts, and I'm not completed at all at, you know, metal. I'm good with hardcore, I'm good with sludge, I'm good with grind, but like old school grind, crossover thrash. But like, I'd say my biggest, I'm going off topic again, I'm not even talking about the fucking album, but my biggest weakness, I think, in metal would be death metal, because I can get by with slam on one pedal and I can do good decent blasts, and I can do the mince core just fine, because a lot of it's kind of low key and I can get around it with just doing the normal blast. With death metal, the footwork that's like, the double pedal is almost needed on half the stuff. Like, I can play Cannibal Corpse and like death songs perfectly without a double pedal, but it just feels like something's missing and it really pisses me off. It just doesn't feel right. But we're talking about Retaliation by Carnivore, which I need to remember. That album is peak satirical lyricism from Peter Steele. And a lot of people, I might be wrong, he might just be saying shit that he feels, and that's weird. It's kind of weird, but I don't think he is. A lot of people do take it seriously, and, you know, fair enough, but a lot of the things he's saying is just peak satire, because it's just so fucking stupid. Like, the song Jesus Hitler, fucking hilarious. USA for USA, that's peak, that is peak satire lyrics, and the drumming is fucking brilliant. I love playing Carnival songs. It's got a unique tone on the bass. You know, Peter Steele's Peter Steele. He's more growly, he's more shouty. You know, in the song Inner Conflict, he really sells like the inner conflicts in the song. He really sells that. Compared to, you know, other people, they kind of just go for the metal. You know, like a lot of thrash, I mean, like a lot of the thrash metal vocalists are a bit kooky. Like, you know, James Hetfield just kind of sounds like me when I'm cheering for someone. Dave Mustaine sounds like a fucking frog wizard. Slayer's the best band that isn't, you know, the best trash you can ever get, because it's all very weird. I'm not gonna say it's bad, because I love it. I love Slayer, and they're better musicians than I am. But a lot of it is a guitar going, and then you know, the Dave Lombardo, I think that's his name. I forgot his name. I know his last name, but I know there's another person called Dave Lombardo who's kind of, I don't remember his first name, but he's great, he's brilliant, and I would recommend the fuck out of practicing his pieces, because I still can't do the skank beat. I can do so much shit. Like, I'm not trying to brag, because I'm not that good, but I can do so much more complicated shit than the skank beat, but I still can't do a skank beat, so maybe I'm just maybe I took one step forward, two steps back. But anyway, if you want like raw, perfectly produced, because I don't know who produced it, but it doesn't get in the way at all. The whole thing is just you listen to it. You know, it doesn't feel too clean or too dirty. There's hair in my mouth. It feels just perfectly weighted for the music. It feels perfectly weighted. It just feels so easy to listen to if you like, you know, hard thrash. And I think it's crossover thrash. I don't know the true definition of crossover thrash except hardcore and thrash. You know, hardcore punk and thrash. I can't listen to that and be like, well, that's definitely hardcore punk and thrash. A lot of the times I just listen to it and think it's fucking awesome. I'm not that fucking intuitive at all. Let me check my fucking 3%. Okay, I've got two more. I've got two more albums to say I need to, you know, talk about. I'm thinking of all this on my head. This is my first fucking video. Call me shit. But someone tell me how to fucking do this, bro. I have a lot to say. Anyway, fucking those three albums that I've said, brilliant. Nothing compares to this next one. Okay, this is the best album I'm gonna talk about, and you're not ready for it. So, the next album is none other than Hold Your Horses by who I mentioned earlier, Hella. I think you know, the guitarist looks like Lionel Messi, and he is the Lionel Messi of guitar. Bro's mental. I can't even comprehend it. I don't need to say much about Zach Hill. If you've seen him play, you know. But oh my god, like he plays like he's been given steroids for the drums. It's what I imagine a genius chimpanzee would play. Like how a chimpanzee with the brain of Albert Einstein would play. Like just fucking. You know, I can play biblical violence, but I don't play it the same as him. I play it with way more notes in it because I like the scatty nature of it. But it just shows how he can do little. Because, you know, biblical violence is, and I usually play it like, you know, like I put a lot of notes in it. He doesn't have a lot of notes. It feels like he has a lot of notes because he does it like that. So Hold Your Horses. Just listen to Hella as a whole. Brilliant band. Technical. It's not for everyone, but if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It's very tasteful. If you like, you know, the complicated stuff. If you listen to Lightning Bolt. If you ever listen to Team Sleep, which is one of Sheena Moreno's, you know, from Deftones, one of his side projects, then you should listen to Hella because it's the same drummer, and you should listen to the ladies because you know the second singer who sings Princeton Review, it's him and Zach Hill, and the ladies is such an underrated band that no one listens to. They've got some bangers, so their song should be long. They should have another album. Please Come Back. I swear they released that album way before I was born, like a couple years, I think at least. But yeah, what a fucking good album. And then, you know, there were those people that denounce rap, and I need to tell you, you're wrong. In a nice way, like you're wrong, because a lot of you be like, why would you listen to rap when you've got music like this, and you put like Korn Korn's a good band, but where do you think the new and new metal comes from? Fucking rap music. You need to realize, like, all the music you listen to started because of black people, and you can't hide from black art, because black art is the fucking driving force of modern music and modern everything, and you need to calm down, right? So with that being said, I've got an album for you that is a rap album, actually. What else is there to say about that? And the album is Illmatic by Nas. Who doesn't know this album, you may ask? People who denounce rap music because they heard one Glorilla song. Shout out to Glorilla, you know. She has good songs. Like, I hate how people just hate on shit because it's fun. Like, not every fucking, you know, I have my hate for fun songs. Like, I don't like Mr. Brightside. I don't like most of Oasis songs. I like Champagne Supernova. That's a fucking banger. But you know, Mr. Brightside, that's a fun song that I hate. Most people probably think I'm weird for that. I just don't like the Killers, except I think, even though they do the same thing, they make you, they stay in your head. Like Dance Monkey, I don't know whether to say no offense to Tones and I, because that song was so bad. I think it kind of deserves a little bit of offense, but I can't just hate someone for making a song. But that song is catchy. I can hear it in my head right now, right? But it fucking sucks, right? I hate it. I hate that I can remember that whole song, but it's so simple and it's just so laid back. Oh, I just realised I have Pepsi here. I want some. So catchy and laid back. Illmatic. No, I've confused what I'm talking about. It's just so catchy and like laid back in its production, but it's still modern production. But there's just not much going on. It's like, you know, that's basically Dance Monkey. Awful song, but it works. Tones Nice probably like rich as fuck. You know, good on her or them. I don't know your pronouns. I think you're a woman, but if you're not, correct me. I'm sorry if you're not. But Illmatic is one of those. It's also laid back, but the catchiness doesn't matter because it's just memorable. It's a memorable album. Like, I feel like in 100 years there'll be people listening to that album the same way there'll be people listening to like Abbey Road. Even though Abbey Road is not the best one, Rubber Soul is. Still, it's all opinion, but like Rubber Soul, Jesus Christ. Basically all the Beatles will be remembered, wouldn't it? Except probably like, I forgot what it's called. That's like, I forgot the album, but it's the one where it's like, you know, let me just see it on Spotify. I like one of the songs off of it, but Beatles for Sale. I know it's something for sale. It'll be forgotten, like Beatles for Sale. No. The only Beatles album I think will be forgotten for like Beatles for Sale. It's not a bad one, but like, who thinks of that one? Like, there's a good Ringo song on there though. I think there is. There's a really good Ringo song on there. But Illmatic is up there with one of the most memorable albums of all time. You know, I think Nas should be in that Hall of Fame of artistry that will be remembered in 1,000 years. Like, this is all in my head. Like, I think there's 5 guaranteed artists to be remembered in 1,000 years. And I know it's not like the most famous ones. Like, Well, Justin Bieber's not on there. No offense to him, but I'm talking about musically. Like Nas will be there, MJ will be there because nothing to say there. Sade, Sade will be there. Prince will be there because I think Prince was a superstar. Close to MJ, but it's like close to MJ how like Ronaldo's close to Messi. Like he's close, but like Messi's still like, you know, my football goat is George Best because my dad showed me highlights of him and he looked like he was playing 2000s football in the 60s. So yeah, Nas, Sade, MJ, Prince, and probably Black Sabbath. Yeah, Black Sabbath, because as much as I like other, you know, Doom, and you know, like I'm a Candlemass guy, and you know, like Stoner Doom, like Wizard, and fucking, I'm a big Stoner guy. I like fucking Bongzilla and fucking Toke and shit. But no one's gonna forget Sabbath because they're not just known for Doom. They're known for metal. They are known for, you know, practically making the whole genre. Even though people say the Beatles did with Helter Skelter, and I probably think that's probably someone who did it before. Metal's just blues with distortion. But yeah, I think Nas should be in that Hall of Fame. I think Illmatic is a top 15 album of all time. Like these 5 albums I was talking about, if there is 5, I forgot. All top 15 albums in my opinion. But I think top 15 albums of all time in the public opinion would be Nas's Illmatic. I think number 1 would probably be Abbey Road, Dark Side of the Moon, or Thriller probably. I was thinking of one MJ album. My favourite is Off the Wall because that is the best one in my opinion. I was gonna say Bad, but I think Thriller's just edges it. But still, you could say probably any MJ album from like the entire discography and be like, oh yeah, that'll be remembered. That's top 10, and you'll be like, yeah, fucking wow, it's MJ. Here's me going on another time. This isn't a GOAT debate. I'm talking about influence, not the greatest. I'm talking about influence. I think Michael Jordan is a bigger influence than LeBron James, which was before him. Like, I feel like there's kids now, and there was kids 15 years ago being like, I want to be like Jordan. 15 years ago, 2011. 25 years ago. Yeah, there's kids like 25 years ago, kids now, be like, I want to be like Jordan. If I need people in like the last 10, 15, I don't know time, probably 15 years that are like, I want to be like LeBron, because he's new. Even though he's older now and he's like on the brink of retiring, he's still new. Both, you know, basically the two MJs, Jordan and Jackson, have got unparalleled amount of influence in their respective categories. And I would say LeBron is going to have that in the next 20 years, and he'll be considered on the same caliber. And he, you know, there's a debate if he's you know, the best player of all time, the greatest of all time. It's him and Jordan. My greatest of all time is fucking Dennis Rodman because he's fucking cool as shit. But that's not got anything to do with the fucking sport, is it? It's because he's fucking cool as shit. And I'm Magic Johnson. I wasn't there for any of that. I've only ever seen LeBron play. I've never seen Jordan play. I wasn't fucking alive for that. I don't mean to like, I don't fucking care. But anyway, unparalleled fucking influence. That's it. Anyway, tangent, yap. Fuck.